3, 2, 1, let's begin the speed test comparison between the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. My friends, there's not going to be many surprises in this comparison. I've done this test before, so I'm pretty sure about the results. I think the iPhone is going to be faster. There we go. At booting up, it is always faster than Samsung phones. I think it's because it has a more, it has a cleaner operative system. With Samsung phones, we have Android and we have One UI on top of Android, so it takes a little bit more time to load everything up. Don't worry, that has nothing to do with the quality of the phone or the optimization of the phone. It's just that the S24 Ultra has usually more things to load than the iPhone, so it's definitely going to take a little bit more time to boot up. As you can see, we have no apps in the background, and we just boot both phones up, so it's a completely fair comparison. Let's make the iPhone and the S24 Ultra show the same camera when turning them on. And that said, well, I have to tell you, both phones have amazing prices on Amazon right now. And when I say amazing, I mean amazing. There is a link in the description down below, so if at the end of the video you're interested on taking a look or buying them, I encourage you to do so. That said, let's begin. 3, 2, 1. Faster on the iPhone, by the way, that's my prediction. Ooh, about the same. Let's do the weather. A little bit faster on the S24 Ultra, but I wouldn't call that a win because it was like 0.3 milliseconds. Let's do the settings. About the same on both phones. Let's do YouTube. Faster on the S24. About the same. Maybe even a tad faster on the iPhone, but yeah, by 0.1 milliseconds. Almost identical. Amazon app, faster on the S24 Ultra. That's my prediction. There we go. It's religiously always faster on this phone. I think it's because it is a little bit better optimized for Android than it is for iOS. Let's do the App Store / Play Store, which I think is going to be faster on the S24. There we go. I'm not really sure why, but the Play Store is very, very well optimized. Let's do IG. Damn, that's a big difference. That's a noticeable difference. The S24 was noticeably faster than the iPhone. Let's do Call of Duty, which is a very interesting game because traditionally has always been faster on the iPhone, but lately has been showing some, weird results. As you can see now, it's about the same. Sometimes it's faster on Samsung, but yeah. In this case, in this run, we're going to do 2 runs so we can see if there's any differences depending on the run we do, because sometimes you may think, oh, this app's faster on this phone, but you do it again and it's faster on the other. So it's important to do things so we get the results, but do them again so we can ensure if those results are really consistent. Let's do Subway Surfers, which I think is going to be faster on the S24 Ultra. It always or almost always is. There we go. And finally, well, not finally, but almost finally, let's do Asphalt 9, which is usually also faster on the S24 Ultra, which, by the way, I feel like I don't want to say winner because it's very close to the iPhone, but it has this slight edge in this case. Most of the apps, though, are almost identical on both phones, like Asphalt 9, which was very, very close. Now let's do Genshin Impact on both phones, which I think is the only app that religiously, out of all the apps we are going to try today, it is the only app that religiously is always faster on the iPhone as opposed to the S24 Ultra. There we go. I'll load it up on the iPhone. 2 seconds, a 2-second advantage on the iPhone as opposed to the Samsung phone. I wish the iPhone could stay at the camera that I used last time that I used the app, but it always defaults back to the main sensor on the back. So, oh, wait a minute. Why didn't I thought I had erased all the apps from the background on the Samsung phone. Interesting. I was about to basically do a run with all the apps loaded up on the back on the S24 Ultra. There we go. No apps on either phone. Let's begin. Little faster on the iPhone. Let's do the weather. There you go. Little faster on the S24 Ultra. Let's do the settings. Almost identical or identical on both phones. Let's do YouTube. It felt like it was a little faster on the iPhone, but the video started playing faster on the S24 Ultra. Let's do Amazon, which is usually faster. There we go. On the S24 Ultra, well, on Samsung phones in general. Let's do the the App Store, which is faster on the S24. Let's do Instagram, which that was a little tad faster, just a little bit faster on the iPhone as opposed to the S24 Ultra, but just by like couple milliseconds. Let's do Call of Duty. This one is always, a little lackluster, so it might be faster on the iPhone, maybe faster on the S24 Ultra. Let's find out. A little bit faster on the S24 Ultra, which seems to be consistently winning most of the tests. As you can see in the first run, I think most of the apps were faster on the S24 Ultra. In the second run, even more so. More apps are being faster on the S24 Ultra. I have a prediction though. I think this time, nope, still faster on the S24 Ultra. Damn. So yeah, it's definitely the faster phone when it comes to booting up apps. We're gonna see now if it is still faster or better at keeping those apps loaded up in the background. So we're gonna reopen some of these apps to see if they stay open in the background or if they have to load up again, which is definitely something where Apple, I think, does a very good job, even though it has less RAM than the S24 Ultra. For reference, this phone has 12 gigabytes of RAM and this phone only has 8. And finally, let's do Genshin Impact. 3, 2, 1. I think this is the only, as I said earlier, the only one where consistently we can expect the iPhone to give us better results. But who knows, right? Maybe the S24 takes the win this time? Nope. But they were very close. Very, very close on both phones. Now, let's do the, for me, probably the most interesting part of the video, which is to see how many apps stay opened in the background. Let's begin with the camera. Both phones had to reload the app. Let's do the weather. I think it was opened on both, but it opened so fast that I'm not really sure if it was opened or if it had to boot up again. Let's do the settings. I think it stayed open in the background. Let's do YouTube. It stayed open in the background on both phones. Let's do Amazon. It stayed opened on both phones. Let's do the App Store. It stayed opened on both phones. Let's do Instagram. It stayed open on both phones. Let's do Call of Duty. It stayed open on both phones. Very impressive. Okay. I was not expecting for all the apps to stay open. Let's do Subway Surfers. It stayed open on both phones. Very, very impressive. I mean, both phones are top-notch, top quality, best of the best. And they both have a lot of RAM in proportion to the optimization on both phones, because the iPhone, even though it has less RAM, it is very well optimized. And finally, let's do Asphalt 9. Stayed open on both phones. Although, well, it's not finally. I think we still have one more app, Genshin Impact. 3, 2, 1. Stayed open on both phones. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. I was not expecting for almost every single app to stay open in the background. Okay, finally, let's do a Geekbench 6 test to see which phone is faster in theory, because we've now seen that, well, generally we can say the S24 Ultra is a little bit faster in practice, but it's also interesting to see in theory, okay, when it comes to the tests, which phone gets the bigger score, and it's better, because there's usually some very interesting contrasts between what we see in theory and what we see in real life. And we are approaching the end of the test. It was a very long process, so I had to make a little cut, because I didn't want to fill up 4 minutes of just nothing happening on screen just by talking, so I made a little cut. But it seems like the iPhone is going to be a little faster at finishing the tests, which is rather strange, because generally what we saw is that both phones are up to par, if not Samsung S24 being a little faster. But when it comes to the Geekbench 6 score, the iPhone is faster at finishing. The S24 is still at 81% remaining, and the iPhone has already finished. As you can see, we get 2,800 points on the single core score and 70,000 points on the multi-core score, which something tells me is going to be a bit higher than what we can get on the S24 Ultra, because I've definitely done this test before back in, I think, February, when the S24 Ultra came out, and the results were definitely a little bit lower on the S24 Ultra as opposed to the 15 Pro Max. But we'll see. 96%, 100%. There we go. Okay, it's about to show the results, and what? Well, this is definitely a lot lower than I was expecting. To be honest, I think the first time I did it, I think I got 2300 and 6800 on the S24 Ultra. This is definitely a lot lower than I was expecting, especially taking into account that the S24 was faster during the whole test, 2 runs than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It doesn't really show in the Geekbench 6 score. So yeah, very interesting results. By the way, in a temperature, if we do a temperature test, both phones seem to be reasonably warm. Maybe the S24 is a tad bit warmer, but both are not concerningly warm, but warm. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the Geekbench 6 test is very demanding. Excuse me. There we go. The Geekbench 6 test is very demanding, so it makes sense that both phones have heated up quite a bit during the test. But yeah, definitely interesting results, my friends. The S24 is a bit faster in real life, and the iPhone is a bit faster in the Geekbench test. So do with that information what you please. What I can tell you for sure is that both phones have about the same price, and both phones have a nice discount on Amazon right now. There's a link down below in the description that's going to send you directly to Amazon. And now that the video is about to end, I recommend you go take a look. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.